Everybody.
Day drinking.
Perfect way to start this. So
We're drinking.
with me, we're men drinking
I'm a reverend.
manly. Well, Richard not so much drinking a manly drink. It's Clue and milk, but whatever.
It's good.
Yeah, whatever.
It's
floats
an
your boat.
adult.
I'm a
Chocolate
reverend.
milk,
I'm just going to
which
get that out of the way, by
You
the
can
way.
enjoy
You shut your whore mouth.
I'm a reverend.
in the comfort of Jake's house.
By the way, we just started. We're not intoxicated.
We are very lightweight.
You are.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I said mine.
so basically, this isn't so much a podcast. This is just us ranting about just
Things
life.
that grind our gears.
Yeah, things that grind our
God, I
gears
hate
while
that.
To
while
make
we
them-
drink our
yeah.
alcoholic beverages, like men.
God, I hate that Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon.
What is
Not
that?
the way you thought this would start, did you? Or maybe, probably not too.
'Cause
There's at least one person on the internet who's like, I bet he's going to start with the Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah. Someone's
There's
probably
one
one of
person.
you guys, because now you know about this.
Yeah.
But, I guess that would also be our only viewer, but, yeah, that show is just awful. I mean,
Keep it up, one viewer.
there is one thing to make a show for kids. It's another thing to just make something awful. I mean, and there's like, and I get that, with an adaptation of any kind, you have to you have to have some flexibility with the source
Yeah.
material. Like, Batman the animated series was not 100% accurate to the comics.
They're still really good, though.
It was great. But this one, you have the Rhino. Oh, man, the Rhino. You all know who the Rhino is from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's,
Yep.
a guy in a rhino suit.
I had a childhood, Richard.
Yeah.
I watched the old Spider-Man show.
Well, you know what the Rhino is now?
A robot?
No,
No,
that
not
made...
like the mediocre Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I thought that made enough sense, but no, in this
it
cartoon...
did make enough sense.
In this
Paul
cartoon...
Giamatti was wasted in that movie.
In this cartoon, the Rhino is a bullied kid at Peter Parker's school who got his hands on some Oscorp genetic green Kool-Aid stuff.
Oh, that whole nutshell.
And when he drinks it, he turns...
It's basically every villain has the exact same.
Yeah, when he
story.
when he drinks it, he turns into a big rhino creature.
Ah, wow. Yeah, that is horrible.
That is awful. And the pacing in the show is terrible. I mean, I usually don't notice pacing because it just flows for me. But this is like, there is no chance for any kind of tension or suspense or anything to build because there's just fucking cutaways all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, it's worse than Family Guy in that regard.
Yeah.
Like,
Coming back to my reference there at the beginning.
Yeah.
you did that?
Yeah.
It
Grinds
full
gears.
circle.
Oh.
Podcast over.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I mean they fucked up the Rhino really bad, and I don't have that much of an investment in the Rhino, but my god, and Carnage. Ugh.
He's speechless.
Well, I feel
people.
like that's the problem with cartoons these days. Back in the 90s, with you had your Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman the Animated Series, Justice League, what have you.
Which you could actually get away with a lot more in those old TV shows. Like, you'd think it'd be the opposite.
Yeah, I mean there was a whole very obvious sexual thing with Green Lantern and Hot Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we actually talked about that in the
And that show was
DC
great.
podcast. It was.
Oh yeah.
All those Bruce Timm shows were great, and this is not.
Because, Bruce Timm kind of does that perfect combination of, if you're an adult and your kid's watching it, you can enjoy it as well.
It was just made as something,
and
a good story, not to just be...
And he respects the source material.
Yeah.
Ultimate Spider-Man shits on the source material. So, Carnage. Okay, I'm going to talk about Carnage.
Basically, what I was going to say.
No, I'm going to talk about
Kid shows today are way too dumbed down.
They really
relates
are.
to what you're saying.
Yeah, it
because
really
it's dumbed
is.
down, and I think it's not the only factor, but I think it contributes to why children just keep getting worse.
It's part of an overall society
dumbing down.
It's an overall societal just need to treat children like every single one of them is a special little fucking snowflake, and they're not. But anyways, Carnage.
Well, they're never gonna learn anything.
Carnage. I'm gonna talk about Carnage.
We're gonna talk about child rearing.
This is relation to that. Carnage.
Sort of.
I mean, they do a whole thing with how Venom is genetically engineered from Spider-Man, and that's fine. I can kind of be okay with that because that's how.
Interpretation.
To some degree, that's what was done in the Ultimate Comics. I know it wasn't exactly that, but
well,
I mean, it was.
Peter Parker's parents. I feel like that could have been the big secret.
Yeah.
These Amazing Spider-Man movies. That was kind of a letdown.
But there was, a whole thing about Venom being a genetic experiment instead of an alien. I get that. That's fine. But what they did with Carnage was like Doc Ock, voiced by Tom Kenny. Tom Kenny's a great voice actor, but he does not fit the character at all.
Yeah.
It's a SpongeBob, by the way.
Yeah, SpongeBob is Doc Ock, and it's more or less the same voice, just like I've seen
less silly.
Well, when SpongeBob gets all serious and stuff, it sounds like that all the time.
Yeah.
He steals some of Spider-Man's blood and just makes venom out of it. That's okay. But then, like two seasons later, they decide he's gonna kidnap Peter Parker and take some of his blood, even though that's also Spider-Man. But something happens.
Something doesn't click there.
Yeah, and he does a thing and pushes some buttons, and it turns Peter Parker into Carnage. Like a symbiote grows out of him and turns it into Carnage. And he does some Carnage-y stuff. He doesn't kill anybody, of course, which fine, it's on Disney, but
it's on Disney?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe that's why it's so bad.
They own Marvel.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
okay. Never mind.
He fights. He somehow tracks down Harry Osborn, who is Venom.
Okay, yeah, I can see where the problem is.
So then Harry just kind of grabs Peter Parker, not Carnage, and absorbs the symbiote back onto himself and turns it into Venom.
So basically, he who's the Green Goblin then?
It's still Norman Osborn, but he
Well, I feel like that'd be conflicting because I feel like in any continuity or most continuity, Norman at some point dies or goes to like another universe, like in the 90s TV show.
Becomes the president of the United States.
Yeah, becomes the president of the United States. And then Harry takes over and becomes the Green Goblin.
I think he's actually back to being the Green Goblin in the comics.
Oh,
yeah, but he takes surgery, like the
yeah, he gets plastic surgery and he's got different appearances, but it's still him. But
just sort of reminiscent to the whole Joker thing in Death of the Family.
But in Ultimate Spider-Man, it might have been like this in the comics, the Ultimate Comics, I don't know, but I thought it was still shitty when they did this. Green Goblin is like he's like a Hulk type monster with just goblin type ears.
Creature?
Yeah, he's a creature. It's not a costume.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Was like better as a costume? I thought the comics worked though.
It was more of a character if he's just wearing a costume though.
Yeah.
It's
well, I don't think Norman Osborn was as big and
yeah. Ultimate really does. They talk about Oscorp a lot, but as a character, he doesn't seem that.
Yeah, Norman. Yeah.
So anyway, back to ranting. We're back to like just kind of a normal discussion.
Fuck this Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
And it's got spin-offs now too. There's like
I raised my fist.
There's like a Hulk one now and an Avengers one. I haven't watched those.
Well, so Richard said his rant, Jake. What would you like to rant about?
I feel like you'll probably chime in here.
I hope so.
But basically, for those of you who know me, which pretty much the only people who watch this are my friends, so you'll know what's coming.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy. That one guy. You're my guy, man. But
maybe the alcohol talking. I hate you. I love you.
He actually hasn't had any alcohol. He's just had Dr. Pepper. He gets like really shit-faced when he's had Dr. Pepper. But anyways, my main thing is like the modern music industry and just how god awful it's become. Like the just overutilization of auto enhancers and stuff like that. You don't really
just the horrible lyrics.
Yeah, like the non-substance.
The most overused words.
Yeah.
Girl, baby.
Nigga.
Oh, I'm talking to you, singer from Black Veil Brides. Yeah. Oh, is not a substitute for every single chorus.
Yeah. And it's just I'm
tonight,
kind of
today.
Yeah.
Party. We're gonna party tonight, girl.
Yeah.
Girl, GURL.
We gonna party tonight, girl. Up in the club.
As you can see, like we're all on board on this. Like it's just I'm fed up with this horrible.
Even Richard doesn't care that much about music.
I mean,
I don't know how that's.
Possible. How would you feel if Bad Religion started doing non-substance bullshit?
They actually did one album of that.
Okay, well, never mind.
Well, it really wasn't, but it came off as that.
It was called No Substance, right?
No, actually, it was called Into the Unknown. They did it was a progressive rock, which was, the big. It was like pop rock back in that age, but. It still had the lyrics, still had substance to it, and it's kind of a cult classic now. Yeah. But back then, people really hated it.
But I mean, I don't know. It's just I'm all for to each their own. If you like pop music and hip hop and R&B and all that stuff, that's fine. I accept that, but I hate when people Yeah, like I mean, it's just horrible.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly repetitive.
Yeah. There's like 3 beats that you'll hear in like rap songs.
It all sounds the same.
Yeah. And I know some people are like,
same in pop songs, but it's just more electronic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I know, people say the same thing. It's like, oh, rock music and metal sounds the same. It's like, whoa, no. That's because you're probably listening to the modern stuff. Yeah. Which, don't get me wrong, there are some hidden gems out there.
Bands,
eventually.
but it's all underground now.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate them for some reason. I think they're great.
Yeah.
They seem to get a lot of hate for some reason.
But
they really are, I would have to say, the modern day Metallica.
Yeah.
Kind of our generation's.
Yeah.
Just at how big they are, because they'll go, they'll Hail to the King, Nightmare.
Yeah.
I think Nightmare went #1, but they'll put out #1.
I thought you were going to say Nightman.
If they put out a Nightman album.
I would love to see Avenged Sevenfold cover Nightman.
That'd be great. But
that's my best impression of.
But it's just again, there are hidden gems out there for music. Especially in metal, like Europe, like the Swedes, they know what they're doing with metal. For the most part, like they're very.
Looking forward to Evergrey's Hymns for the Broken.
Exactly, like check out Evergrey if you like metal, or just check them out anyways. They're a good band. But anyways,
amazing.
If you just want to see a collection of like the worst of all music into one movie, see Spring Breakers. There was like usually in movies where it's got a lot of bad music in it.
Cold.
Yeah,
but usually in a movie that's
it's a good example, a prime example actually.
Spend 15 minutes in a Coles.
Try 36 hours a week.
But usually in any kind of movie where there's like, it's got music you don't care for, there'll at least be something that you can kind of
tolerate.
Yeah, nothing.
Or
Spring Breakers is nothing but that poppy and
generic
thug bullshit all over the place.
Yeah, that's pretty much the modern.
I was also disappointed by how few titties I saw in that movie.
I mean,
this
come
is
on.
rants.
Yeah. but yeah, that's just like I don't know, like just the whole modern music industry is just complete bullshit. Like it really is.
Actually,
I
budgets, and there's a whole budget for auto-tune. Because I watched a documentary recently, 20 Feet from Stardom, about like backup singers.
Yeah.
And, again, that was more about like, guys like Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
And that type of, 60s to 80s pop, really R&B too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even rock. Back then, just sort of the death of backup singers, but they don't use them anymore because it's cheaper. They actually have budget, in the recording budget to just auto-tune all these things because it takes too much time. And
and it's just like what
it takes too much time to actually get people to try to sing on key and stuff. Because
can we talk about Linkin Park?
The people we're producing, the people we're producing have no actual talent. It's just a pretty face.
Really, that's literally all it is.
The pop music industry is who's the biggest whore.
Like if you notice, like pretty much all your biggest like pop stars and whatnot. Like if you notice, like I know there's something that I saw online where basically it took like a Beyonce song and then Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, and like the Beyonce song is like 6 writers, 4 producers, and the song's like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, 1 writer, 1 producer, 6 minutes long, and it's one of the greatest songs ever written. Yeah. And it's just like that's because that song was like written like from his heart, like he put everything into that song, like he did everything.
The best when
but
the actual musicians write their own stuff and
it really is. And it's just like, do you really need?
You get a whole team of people to write your song. And
I
mean, they're
and it even had like the lyrics, like in comparison, it's like pretty much the Beyonce song was just complete repetition. Like it was pretty much the exact same like verse and everything. And again, it's like 3 minutes of just whatever generic beat and just repetition, and then Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, which
it's all about dancing for some reason.
Which that song's just in that 6 minutes completely changes the.
Yeah, it's operatic.
Yeah, and also I'm a little biased because Queen and Freddie Mercury, but
even
but
if you
it's still
like rock all that much, he's one of the
greatest vocalists,
possibly the greatest
frontman.
I'm admittedly
any genre of all time.
I'm admittedly not like the biggest Queen fan out there, but I do have a huge amount of respect for them.
Yeah,
obviously,
especially Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I just
if you don't like that kind of stuff, you have to admit that guy. Incredible.
Yeah. And it's just
I know my friend Brian will like that part of this
You better be watching this, Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
If you don't, I will come find you. I will hunt you down.
Brian Moore. That's his name.
All right, hunt him
Like
down,
Moore
internet
Brian?
people.
Brian Moore.
Like
Michael Moore.
Like you want more, Brian?
I really...
But,
He broke my couch.
Overall, like, that's just my main thing. I could...
I know this
He
guy.
puked all over my apartment.
You better be
Brian.
You better be listening to this, Brian.
Normally I would intervene, but this is still within the realm of ranting. But
Brian.
But anyways, I could probably dedicate my entire channel to my hatred for the modern, industry of music. But Dave, I'll let you take over and see.
Oh yeah, Dave. What do you got to rant about? What's something close to your heart that's been ruined?
The Jews.
Cut.
No, just to clarify, I love the Jews. I know this is a rant, but I love all things Jewish and Jewish delicacies. The Jewish people, I like big noses.
And you would love David from Frank Miller's
yarmulkes.
Holy Terror. There was a character named David in there. He just kind of showed up for one page. He seemed to be like some.
Was his name David because he wore a giant star of David?
He didn't wear one. It was tattooed on his face.
Well.
And he had two Asian...
That's dedication. I feel like tattoos aren't very Jewish.
He had two Asian
I love the actor
ninja
Jason
assassins.
Schwartzman and other
Stop
Jewish
that.
actors.
You're supposed to talk about stuff you hate.
Yeah, try and redeem yourself after the whole Jewish
This is like
thing.
the weird interlude. I'm trying to explain myself. It was a joke.
Yeah,
I love the Jews.
Okay, Dave is not anti-Semitic. He was joking. Let's move past it.
And if you are by
I'm past
whatever...
it.
I'm past it.
If for whatever reason you're offended by that, then fuck off and go to another channel.
You can go watch another famous YouTube person.
Who's Jewish.
Yeah, preferably who's Jewish.
I guess.
Like
Anyway,
a lot of them are.
what's-
All the
what-
Hollywood people are.
What is something you dislike and want to express your dislike of?
Oh, so many things.
Jake already did the music industry.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
that
feel
was-
free to, like,
That
kind
was
of...
my go-to.
TV. It kind of seems like TV is.
That's I guess more of my purview.
But, I mean, TV's really gotten a lot better.
Yeah, it has. I don't have as much to complain about there.
Really, I mean, it's like before. It feels like before shows like House started showing up. TV was just TV was just kind of keep you, something to watch.
Or like, big actors would go to TV if their careers were kind of over.
And
But now it's like you have all these great
really big
actors.
actors.
Now it's like TV shows are something you actually get invested in.
Yeah.
Like Breaking Bad and I guess Game of Thrones and I guess Dexter.
No, don't you dare say you guessed Game of Thrones. It's the greatest show ever, you son of a bitch.
I can't speak from personal experience.
Watch it and you'll know. And you'll understand.
I'd recommend it.
And from what I hear about The Walking Dead, Orange is the New Black is really good.
I couldn't get
It's
into
not
it.
really TV, it's Netflix. But
I've heard. I kind of worried about it because it's the same person who created Weeds, which
it's
a
good.
pretty hit and miss show.
I would put Orange.
In my opinion.
I would put Orange up there with Breaking Bad.
I couldn't get into it.
That's some high
Did you
praise.
try watching it?
Yeah.
Did
High
you,
praise.
Like, I recognized that it was
Did
good.
you only watch the first episode?
No, I watched, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 episodes?
I guess it's just not for you.
No. I mean, again, like, I recognize that it is good.
There's so many,
it's just,
there's so many titties, though.
It's not all about
That's what I
tits,
thought about
Richard.
Doctor Who.
Where are all the titties in Doctor Who?
Yeah, but that was my I don't know. Lots of people seem to love it. I couldn't get into it. I found Matt Smith kind of annoying.
I started watching it from the very first of the newer episodes. I only watched a few, but I did like what I saw of it.
I don't know. I know there are multiple doctors, and I should try a different one.
Was the first episode you watched by any chance about mannequins coming to life?
No.
Okay.
You
watched it on a different.
It was
doctor,
very
right?
Well. It was. I know it's the same guy who
just
Sherlock, which is a great show.
Just for me to talk as if I know a whole lot about the series, you started with a different doctor than I did, so
possibly.
If you have Netflix,
it felt I felt like
but
the Doctor was written to be exactly like Benedict Cumberbatch, Sherlock Holmes.
But do these doctors have a degree, though?
Guy, I don't know.
That's my concern.
I know nothing about.
Well, they don't.
Like, okay, sure, they can time travel.
Well, they don't.
But what if they get wounded? What if they get wounded? Can they heal themselves?
There are different kinds of doctors besides medical doctors.
Nope, all medical doctors.
I think they're time doctors.
Shut up, Richard. You know nothing. You
know
nothing of space and time and any of that stuff.
I think these doctors have a PhD in metaphysics.
Then I want to see their documents. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I haven't seen every episode. There might have been some documents.
Yeah,
I
still. Admittedly, I do need to start watching Doctor Who.
I do too.
I could give it another chance.
Especially with this British tea container that kind of looks like the TARDIS.
Yeah. Which I gave him as a gift while I was on vacation.
Offensive name.
TARDIS.
Yeah.
It means something. I also know that it's bigger on the inside.
Remind you.
This has become more of a just shooting the shit kind of thing than ranting. But feel free to continue ranting.
Would you put your brain in a robot body?
I feel like I'd be too tempted to just wreak havoc. Well, hold on. What kind of robot body? Do I have laser beams and rockets?
Specifics to this.
All right.
Let's lay down the ground.
Okay. First of all, only 5 feet tall, no taller.
That's pretty much already my height.
That's as big as they come. Second,
no.
You look exactly the same.
Okay.
You have the same. You have a perfect recreation of the human nervous system.
Okay.
So you won't be losing any kind of physical sensation when you get a robot body.
Right.
You can have X-ray vision or a cloak against other robots using X-ray vision on you. One or the other.
I would like.
I don't want them to see my gears.
Transmission type power.
That's not science.
I don't see why they couldn't get on that.
Well, maybe, but.
Anyways.
Yeah, X-ray vision or the cloak against X-ray vision, one or the other.
I mean, the whole transportation industry is.
X-ray vision's that way. That. That's just more versatile. How many other robots are there? And why do they want to look at me?
Would everyone be a robot at this point?
Yeah.
Well, I'd say
we're thinking too much into this, aren't we?
No, God, no.
I don't think so.
The way I would
for me to answer adequately.
The way that this would progress, obviously we would test it on the furries first, so because they're expendable.
Yes, I agree.
Perfect the technology on them because they'll want to do it because they'll want to be turned into their fursonas. So we'll test it on them.
Even the use of that word.
After a lot, I've met people, but anyway.
After the use, you aren't meeting. Where are you going to meet these unsavory characters?
Well, on the internet. Where else?
Of course.
But
you need to get off this internet. It's not gonna last.
I thought it was a interweb.
Why would it be a web?
There's internets. There's multiple ones. But anyways, after enough furries have died in testing for robot bodies,
I don't want us to stop until they all die. Just like the. I'll stop.
Once the technology is perfected, we allow regular people to do it, and at an age where they're.
What do you mean regular people?
I mean not furries.
Oh, okay. You clarify.
All right.
At an age where you're your mind hasn't started to deteriorate, but you're kind of at that point where it could anyways.
Yeah.
You get your mind transferred to a robot
I'm
body.
there, but...
Yeah, me too. But and then the technology's perfected. You have a perfect robot body that feels like a human body. Now we get to talk about optional accessories.
Okay.
That's what I was.
As for X-ray vision, of course.
Okay. I want at least one of my hands to be either a sword and/or chainsaw.
Chainsaws, I can get on board with.
Yes.
They'd be.
My
They would
question
be retractable.
about the X-ray vision. What? If you're looking at a girl robot, would you just see robot parts?
You'd be able to control your X-ray vision.
Okay.
So
you
can determine.
Could you
how
see
much
through lead? Yeah,
I've got a chainsaw hand. I'll cut through the lead. No need to see through it.
Is the chainsaw even that strong?
You can have both your hands be.
It's made of antimonium.
I want shoehorn hands.
You can have both your hands be retractable chainsaws.
Yes.
Where are we with the shoehorns?
Because
people don't know what chainsaws sound like.
Why would no one jump on board of chainsaw hands?
Yeah, exactly.
I would be a politician and that would be my thing. Chainsaw hands.
It's like, what do you?
What about the countries growing to chainsaw hands? Yeah.
Of course, America would be the only country that does this.
Be like the guy from.
Be funded by Michael Bay.
Yeah, like the guy from Ancient Aliens. Instead of aliens, like chainsaw hands.
And you have to do that thing too with your hands. I'm not saying it's chainsaws, but it's chainsaws.
Yeah, exactly.
Hydraulic penis.
Definitely useful.
Yeah.
What about flamethrower penis?
If you want to get into Ghost Rider 2 type territory, I guess you could get that installed.
Okay.
That happened.
I'm just weighing the options.
So I think it's obvious we would be robots if I have chainsaw hands.
Yeah, retractable too, so you could still,
have fingers,
hands, and then you could just Optimus Prime pull them out.
Yes.
Is this gonna morph into some sort of Rister type territory?
That's
For
a
those
whole
unfamiliar,
other,
that's a whole other
That's
thing.
a whole other podcast.
You don't want to get in
right there.
contact with us unless you're Hugh Jackman.
Or Samuel L.
Jackson or Halle Berry for the sequel.
Yeah.
As we've discussed.
But that is a whole other thing.
That really, it's a whole other disgusting mess.
You'd have the strength of 5 gorillas.
Yes,
Not 5
I'm
men,
already
5
on board.
gorillas.
Chainsaw hands. That's all you had to say.
Strength of 5 gorillas.
Why can't we get it up to 6?
Chainsaw.
I don't need the strength of
I wanna
5
know
gorillas.
why
I
we
have
can't get
chainsaw
up to
hands.
Yeah, but you will also have the strength of 5 gorillas.
Which is awesome. But again,
It's a
I'm just
little
pointing out
superfluous.
chainsaw hands. That's all I need.
Chainsaw hands with the strength of 5 gorillas.
Is awesome.
Exactly.
Could I also focus my X-ray into I-beams?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
I'm no scientist, but
specifics
that
on
seems
that.
plausible if you focus enough.
I need to watch that episode of C-Lab again.
I love that show.
Yeah. That's where this entire conversation is from.
I knew it sounded familiar, but I was trying to pinpoint it. But yeah,
That was like the first episode. But yeah, it's
feel free to comment, one guy watching this.
Laser Eyes, yes
Make
or
several
no?
different accounts.
I mean,
and
we do
create
have-
a conversation between yourself and
So
your
that way it
imagined
seems like I
friend.
actually have a fan
That
base.
seems like a lot of work.
And that you have friends.
But lasers do exist.
Yep, we
so,
insult our audience
yeah.
here, even if it's just
Yeah.
one guy.
Fuck you, one guy. Fuck you, Brian.
If
But-
Brian is the one guy,
I don't care.
But lasers do
we're
exist.
not here to make
Yeah.
friends.
So we could have laser eyes. I mean, there might be some complications as installing it compared to vision and X-rays.
Well, we'll worry about that.
Yeah, we'll worry
I don't
about
need
that.
vision for chainsaw hands.
Well, you could probably just get like camera lenses installed in your nose
Yeah,
or
there we
something.
go. See,
Because you don't need to breathe anymore.
Problem solved.
What if I'd like to breathe? Is that an option?
You can breathe through your mouth.
Yeah.
Like Data from Star Trek. His whole thing was like that he would breathe, and the reason for it was obviously because you can't make a guy not breathe on camera, but his reasoning for it was that it was like a cooling system for his inner mechanisms. So, something like that. You'd still breathe.
Yeah, I'm on board of,
Yeah, this is
Robot.
This is an entirely great idea.
Would I rust in the shower?
No, you'd have like a synthetic type skin over you, so it would
Like
But we
Terminator.
don't take it off.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could.
Could I...
I'd like the option.
So I'm pretty sure this is an obvious question, like, on who would win, but I would win against a Terminator, correct?
You might be on par with the Terminator.
No, I would win. I have chainsaw hands and the strength of 5 gorillas.
Well, I think
And
the
flame-
And
Flamethrower
potential
penis.
I-beams.
I think the Terminator does have the strength of 5 gorillas part.
But he doesn't have chainsaw hands.
He does not.
So,
but-
there we go, people.
But he was also the governor of California, so...
There have been multiple Terminators.
If
He's
he's-
Multiple
you
governors
know,
of California.
Yeah, that too.
It all depends. If you're fighting the Terminator fresh out of the time portal,
I'm kicking his ass.
You probably kick his ass because he's got nothing.
Exactly.
Not even clothes on his back.
Yeah, exactly.
I would
But
at least let him put some pants on.
But what if the pants have like a chainsaw in the pocket?
Who puts chainsaws in pants?
I don't know, Jake. This isn't
Skynet!
maybe he
Then Skynet needs to invest in some...
maybe he runs
no,
into
no.
the guy from Sharknado. And he's just like,
Alright.
Yeah, how would we...
Yeah.
How
Now
would
you
we-
brought in
How would the
Sharknado.
robots fare? Robot people fare
against
in a
the shark.
Sharknado type situation?
He would win.
Yeah,
Chainsaw hands,
Yeah,
people.
chainsaw hands. You like the guy that cut a shark in half with one chainsaw.
Spoiler alert.
People have seen Sharknado.
You better have seen it.
And now you could do that with
I don't
two
even want
hands.
you to listen to this. I want you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't seen Sharknado.
Seriously.
So 2 sharks flying at you, pull out your chainsaw hands.
They're dead.
Yeah,
3
cut 'em-
sharks, though.
You cut them both in half.
I-beams.
Yeah, you do the I-beams.
Also,
with
with a
the next
robot.
one.
What are they gonna do?
Yeah, I mean they try to.
What about a robot ghost shark?
Oh man,
That might get tricky.
now we're getting into some serious shit here.
This is some philosophical
There's
stuff.
like because there is Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I know it's the sequel to Mega Shark versus Crocodile or something like that.
Something like that. And
Yeah.
that is the sequel to Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus.
Something like that. They're all great movies.
So we're getting into Mecha Ghost Shark now, I guess.
See, this is where this is a growing concern
This
because
is
what are they capable of? Do we know what they're capable of?
Mecha Sharks.
I mean, this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, Mecha Sharks.
It's a public message for you YouTubers listening to this.
I mean, this is the world of the future.
Yeah, this is how you
Mecha-
prepare for a Mecha Shark
Well,
invasion.
Going by Mecha Shark, as I have seen the movie,
He's an expert.
It's capable of everything that the Megalodon shark is capable of.
So basically, leaping out of the
But-
ocean and eating planes. In
Not
midair.
just that, it can do all that, and it's got tire tread, so it can go on land.
Naturally.
So a ghost mecha shark could
He
appear...
could float through stuff.
A ghost mecha shark could appear anywhere on the planet at any given time.
Yeah, I think I would just piss myself.
Yeah, I think we would need it to be ghost robots to even have a chance of surviving. Which wouldn't make sense because we'd be dead, but our robot bodies would need to be ghosts to combat the ghost mecha shark.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
How effective would they be in this scenario?
That's a tough one.
Or robot
Ghostbusters would probably stand a chance.
Okay, there we go.
Alright.
World government,
beat them on our own.
quit investing money in stuff that we need.
We'd have to call
like, hospitals and stuff. Robot Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Ghost, robot, Ghostbusters.
Yes, that's what we
need. To be ghosts.
Find a way to combine your resources and money, bankrupt your country, do what you gotta do to make this happen. We need to be prepared.
Like things are getting better.
That's the sad part.
Wasting money on education.
It's clearly not doing any good. When people think
police department.
So that reminded me of something I'm going to rant about.
Oh,
okay.
we're still doing the rants.
We're back on the rants now.
All right.
See, this is about coming full circle. We lose you, we pick you back up whenever we want to.
It's like an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
This is a whole.
So many twists.
This is a whole load of
Bruce Willis is in this room.
It
He's
is.
not saying anything.
But,
that was Bruce Willis the whole time?
Yeah, he just happens
Spoiler
to
alert!
be here.
Spoiler alert!
Jake's cat was Bruce Willis the whole time?
He is.
He's that good. You wouldn't think so, but he's that good.
But anyways, so I know I was texting you about this, Dave. Richard, you probably heard about it because you're on the internet pretty much all the time.
It's possible.
But basically, there is there's a picture of like Steven Spielberg standing next to a Triceratops from the movie Jurassic Park. You know, it was a prop, the Triceratops, obviously. But apparently someone, like, as a joke, posted that picture and is like, you know, spread this picture around the internet so that way we can stop people from butchering these poor animals. And people were actually like, is that real? If so, that guy's an asshole. It's like, oh my god, no!
So
it's a Triceratops! They have been dead for millions of years!
These people are concerned about animals.
Like, by all means, be concerned, but this animal's been
Leave
dead.
Godzilla alone.
Leave Godzilla alone,
Matthew
too.
Broderick.
Yeah. Jesus.
But not Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, he can mess with Godzilla all he wants.
God, that was amazing.
It was. But, like, how stupid can people be nowadays? I mean, I've accepted the fact that, like, people are pretty, like, they're, like, borderline, you know, mental. Yeah. But, come on. Come on.
So... I actually didn't know anything about that. Yeah,
Brian, come on, dick.
Thanks for not letting that lapse.
So that really happened. People were actually concerned that Steven Spielberg was abusing
was killing a dinosaur.
First of all, why would you be pissed about anyone killing a dinosaur? Because that's awesome. If you can kill a dinosaur with your bare hands, kill as many as you want. That's amazing.
Take that, PETA.
Not only is he a great director,
you are a huge badass if you can do that.
And Jewish.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Let's all point out how much Dave likes Jewish people.
I love the Jews.
Just to remind people of the time when he joked about not liking them.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You fucking prick.
Brian.
And you better not be Jewish.
He's not.
Good.
He's
like taking back everything I just said.
He's not Jewish.
Good. I hate people that aren't Jews.
Okay, here we go again. We just don't know how Dave feels about the Jews.
It's a roller coaster.
And other ethnicities.
Yeah.
That's more than I can say for Frank Miller.
That's probably true.
He's racist and sexist.
Apparently.
Occasionally writes a good story.
I dare you to name, even in Sin City it shows, like, I dare you to name a character in Sin City that's female, it's not a prostitute or a stripper.
Yeah, that's
maybe an extra? Just like walking past on the street?
Yeah, there was one, in Holy Terror, there was like one woman police officer who had one line of dialogue in one page, one panel. That's it.
So he's not totally sexist.
Yeah.
Not towards police women.
Quota or something. Yeah, he loves police women.
They
don't get enough respect, just like white athletes.
The one police woman that exists in not Gotham.
Yeah.
God, I hate Frank Miller.
My favorite not city.
Yeah.
I think Frank Miller used to be good, and then he just went crazy.
It's possible. It seems to happen to a lot of the creative people. You know, they start off real strong, and then they kind of like have that phase where you're like, what the hell happened?
Because he made 300 and I haven't read the comic, but I assume it's alright. There were some homophobic undertones in there, but it was like...
I think it was a pretty homoerotic movie.
Yeah, it was a very homoerotic movie. It was
But they were men.
Well, actually, oddly enough, that is fairly historically accurate. Yeah.
It was fairly common back then for them to...
Like, before battle, like, they would...
Bonding.
Yeah, they would, like, lather each other up in, like, oil. It's like, hey, man, before you put on your armor, let me lather you up in oil.
You're gonna look good.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna touch you inappropriately.
You're probably gonna die today.
I'm gonna put my dick in your butt.
You might as well look good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I respect you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know my history, people. So, for all you homophobes out there, look it up. It's true.
Spartans were pansexual.
Yeah, that was actually another common thing that, Greeks were pretty...
Yeah.
They banged everything. Them and the Romans as well.
Yeah.
Basically anything that moved, they were all, they were all for.
Yeah.
Even the Jews.
Yeah.
Yep, even the Jews. You're really not making yourself look any better, Dave.
That horse. Well, I realize I already come off pretty good.
You still...
previous podcast, so I might as well be an anti-Semite.
You still look better than Frank Miller.
That's fair.
I'm sure we're all aware of the famous, I'm the goddamn Batman.
Yes, I'm aware of it.
Yeah, he wrote that.
It was
in Aspar. Aspar, number 1. He wrote, I'm
aware.
It's hilarious, but he wrote that completely dead serious.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excuse me. There you
go,
everybody.
Then afterwards, the character who he referred to as Batman in his writing, and he's probably the only one that calls this character Batman, went on to take Dick Grayson home to the Batcave and make him eat rats.
If I had $1 for every time I did that.
Took a young boy home.
Right at, like...
To the cave underneath your mansion.
The night his parents died.
Again, if I had $1 for every time I did that.
And, like, killed a few people on the way home just driving the Batmobile through cars.
My statement still stands. If I had $1, I would be...
You would have $6.75.
Well, there we go, everybody. Jake Gallion is a Frank Miller character.
How did he get the 75 cents? Well, you don't want it.
Don't look into that.
He killed 3/4 of a person.
Shut up, Richard. Just don't.
Little people, whatever. I don't want to offend them.
At least
I'll offend the Jews. At least who I love.
At least you weren't gonna say the Jews were only 3/4 of a person. No, I could have seen it going.
Richard, that's very racist.
Reverend Richard,
and a reverend too. I would.
Reverend Spaceman.
Mind your tongue.
I think it's a good place to end this.
I'd like to keep going.
This one has gone on too.
Almost 40 minutes, so I think we're gonna wrap this up.
I don't believe that.
Any closing statements, gentlemen? Dave, any redeeming statements?
There's nothing I could say.
At least he's honest, everybody. Richard?
I really think Dave does like the Jews.
No, I do. I love the actor Jason Schwartzman.
He does like the Jew.
He's quite Jewish.
He does like the Jew.
I like one Jewish actor.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld. I'm a big fan of that man.
What's the deal with Dave and the Jews?
If you're listening, Jerry.
He's not listening.
I'm going to entertain the insane fantasy.
He's not listening.
It's possible. He's our one viewer.
No.
I said I'm entertaining the insane fantasy.
Yeah.
No. It's not him.
But yeah, so this kind of wraps this up. Hopefully,
fuck you, Frank Miller.
Where there are like hopes and dreams and stuff.
And hopefully,
sometimes they come true.
Fuck you, Frank Miller.
Exactly, and hopefully you have enjoyed and endured this, whatever this is.
Brian.
So until next time, everybody. Cheers.